Hi everybody, it's me, Benjamin Crudwig, and I am introducing a new project to you today on my channel, which is going to be a quilted velvet bomber jacket. I would say a few months ago, I think it might have been in January, it's currently March right now, my former coworker, gifted me some vintage black velvet silk. And it looks like just a black blob, just because it's that dark. It's real silk. It was made in Japan, and I believe it was actually purchased in the 1950s. So this is real vintage silk velvet. So I am thrilled and honored to be working with it. It's in great condition. There is literally nothing wrong with it, and I am really excited to get to work on it. I did this sketch. Here, let me tell you a little bit more about the project. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. The front panel will be quilted in the black velvet, and then the sleeves will be in an alternate material. I'm not sure which. And on the back of the bodice, or on the back of the project, I am going to put on some Swarovski rhinestones. Let's see if I can reach it. And I'm going to do a night sky. All right, so I've finished doing my measurements, and now what I'm going to do is start drafting the pattern for the bodice sloper for my my project. So basically what that's going to involve is I have this lovely thing of craft paper that I've had for a few months now. It's just I buy it in bulk, and what I'm going to do is just lay out my measurements. I have them written down. I need to add ease, some positive ease for the bomber jacket, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and start cutting out fabric pieces for the bodice. What I'm going to do is go ahead, get the pattern going, and then I will meet you after I am done with that. Okay, so I have cut out the pattern pieces for the bodice sloper for the bomber jacket. Now what I need to do is cut out pieces of fabric, so 3 for each, well, 3 for the back piece, which is done on the fold, and then I'll basically need to do 6 pieces for the front, because I'm doing, 2 different panels, one left side, one right side. I'm going to go ahead and cut out some fabric, and I'll see you on the flip side. All right, so I cut out all the pattern pieces, got them pinned together, and on one of them, the back portion of the bodice, I decided to do some basting stitches, and that was taking way too long. So I decided that I'm just gonna pin it and start quilting. So here's where I am. This is the back side. I marked using some tailor's chalk on the black ponte. And I'm working with 3 different materials that have each of them have a little bit of a different stretch. So that's giving me slight annoyances. The velvet is really slippery, the ponte is really stretchy, and then the padding that's in between them, one side is slippery and one side is not. So it's giving me a few issues that as I'm sewing all of the stitches down, it's, how shall I say, just troublesome sometimes. The black ponte is stretching and causing some puckering on the back side. Luckily, you won't see that since it's on the interior of the jacket. So far, the velvet looks fine on the outside. We'll see. I'm doing all of one diagonal on the quilting first, and then what I'm going to do is mark out the right angle the other direction after I'm done quilting one side. So I just figured then it's easier to keep everything in place and I can move a little bit faster on the other diagonals as opposed to like going, you know, one diagonal then the other diagonal and crisscrossing that way. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on quilting the back panel and I'll come back and show you how that looks. Here's how it looks on the other side. Let's see. So I think it's looking really good. You know, it's a little bumpy, but that should get taken care of a little bit once I do the crisscross. And once that happens, I think it'll look really good. Then what I'll do is put the back panels and the front panels together. And after that's done, I'll go ahead and start embroidering things and doing the embellishments. I know I said I was going to do the interior first, but I think I'm gonna do the embellishments before I do the interior. That way I can just focus on getting that looking really nice and not worry about having to do the liner yet. So yeah, I'm not gonna film that much of the quilting because it's kind of boring and tedious, but other than that, I'm just gonna keep on going. Alright, so I've been working on the back portion of this bomber jacket with the quilting, and it's finally turning out pretty well. You can see here I've got about half, well technically 3/4 of it quilted. I did these diagonals first and now I'm working on these ones. I've gotten a little bit of a wave going right here. It'll be fine. It'll be a little bit noticeable I think in the finished product, but it'll be fine. So one thing though that I wanted to say, a little bit of a tip, I was working on the other side drawing chalk lines on the black ponte, but I found that having the black ponte facing up, it was bunching and stretching and stuff, and I just couldn't have that. So I figured out a way that to have the velvet on top and the black ponte on bottom, to get all the lines even without drawing chalk lines on the velvet, which I think would, you know, not look very good and possibly ruin the velvet. Right here on my machine, I've put a piece of masking tape at the 1-inch mark. So what I do is I line up the previous row of stitching with this outer edge here. I don't have a special sewing machine foot that can do that for me, so I'm just using this tape to line up the edge and go ahead and sew parallel lines. And this second set is working way easier, much faster. So once I get the back panel done, then I have to do the front panels. Luckily they're exactly half the size as the front panel, so that should cut down my time significantly for each one. Just because having all of it, this huge lump of fabric, you know, it's almost a square yard of fabric. Nearly, it's not quite, but nearly a square yard of fabric is just so much. So I'm gonna keep quilting this, and then I'll do the front panels and then piece them together and start embellishing. Okay, so I have finished the constellation placement of the stars. This is totally getting blown out. There we go. Let's do this. These are Swarovski crystals that are just like super, super shiny. I did a paper pattern first, which you would have seen the time lapse of me punching out all of the holes. I kept this pinned to this part while I was placing each of the crystals, and I placed each one down for about 10 seconds. So I'm pretty sure they're super secure. If not, I can go back and touch up anything that I need to. So before I add any of these like extra stars that I punched in here, which I don't really need the template for these, I'm just gonna place them in the kind of empty areas. What I'm gonna do first is do all of the lines with the silver thread. So I'm gonna go ahead and start hand embroidering all of this over here, and you know, just kind of hunker down and get to work. And I am officially finished with my bomber jacket. I am so freaking happy with how it turned out. You can see here that the quilting is not really picking up on the camera a whole lot. But I just think that it looks fantastic. It fits perfectly. Obviously, you know, I made it off of my measurements. So I used the black velvet for the front panels and for the back. And you can see, kind of, it doesn't pick it up as well on camera, but it's definitely sparkling with those Swarovski crystals that I put in here for each star. And then I used a silver thread to basically just do a running stitch between each star so it looks like a constellation. Right here is supposed to be the North Star. I just put a cluster there to make it really the center point. And then you have all the different constellations surrounding. Then in a couple of the areas that it just seemed like a little bit of a dead space, I added individual stars. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. I can't wait to wear it to an event at some point. Gosh, either I'm really pale or this is really dark. Let's see if that side helps a little bit. There we go. That's what happens when you work with black velvet. Anyways, so I am happy with how this turned out, and I can't wait to do the next project on my list. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and also give me one of those little hit the bell icon, please. That really, really helps, so you'll get notifications when I upload more content. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.